Good morning, my friends. Dr. Loudon here. I just wanted to go over what I'm doing for my dog Joey, who's been diagnosed with cancer. It's Hemangiosarcoma, so it was a tumor on his spleen. And Hemangiosarcoma is a cancer of the blood vessels, and so unfortunately it is likely to spread. And so I'm doing everything I can to prolong his life as long as possible. And many of you that are following Joey have asked me, what are you doing? And so I want to share my regimen of what I've decided to treat Joey with for this time so that I can help any of you out there who are going through the same thing. And Joey's doing really well right now, so something's working, and I'm going to go through all of it with you. So first I'm going to start. The most important thing that you can do is diet. And Joey's been on a raw diet. This is just want you to see what a raw diet looks like. I get it frozen, and it's called Canine Cravings, and I chop it up. It's a little gross. I'm not gonna lie. I'm mostly vegan, so but I do it for him because I know it's the best option. And now more than ever, it's so important for him to not get processed foods or processed treats, which he never has. But if the one thing that you can do is change your dog off of kibble and get him on something that's fresh, whether it's a raw diet, a commercial or home-cooked diet, air-dried, freeze-dried, just don't feed them kibble and try to stay away from the canned if you can. Choose a higher quality, less processed food for them, number one. And so let's go through his treatments. There's quite a few of them, and you may think it's a little overboard, and it may be, but it's what I feel I need to do for him right now. And so you have to choose what you feel is best for your dog and what is best for your lifestyle and budget. So let's go through them. Yunnan Baiyao, that's the most important, or one of the most important things I have him on right now. It's a Chinese herb. We're not quite sure how it works, but it helps with clotting, and it can stop bleeding and help prevent bleeding, which is very important with Joey's condition with hemangiosarcoma. We don't know exactly how it works, but we believe, or it is believed, that it works by activating the glycoproteins on the surface of the platelets. So it works. It's been used in humans. It's been used in the fields of battle to stop bleeding. It also has been shown to have anti-cancer effects. There was a study in 2014 that showed that it did kill hemangiosarcoma cells, and I believe that because I've had patients over the 20 years of practice that the owners only wanted to do this, and their dogs lived for up to, it was rare, but there were dogs that lived up to a year on just this. So I believe it has anti-cancer properties for sure. So he gets 2 capsules twice a day of that. He is on homeopathic remedies that were recommended by Dr. Loops in North Carolina, who's a great homeopathic veterinarian that I trust. And so he's on different remedies that he's prescribed specifically for Joey. Some are for just direct splenic support and health, immunity, carcinosin, which is for cancer patients specifically. It also has other great benefits other than cancer. He gets cell salts, which I give about 10 minutes before I give the remedies, and this enhances the benefits of the remedies. And it's just a little bit of liquid, so it's not a big deal. He doesn't love it, but he tolerates it. It's easier than giving any pills, so that's good. The other thing he's on that's really important, and he does have a remedy that's for rescue. So if he does have a bleed, I'll give that, and hopefully that won't be for a while. So I didn't choose to go the conventional chemotherapeutic route where he would get IV doxorubicin weekly. And there's a couple of reasons that I chose not to do that. And personally, I've done it with one of our dogs in the past. He already had metastatic disease, so it had already spread by the time we found it in our dog Gaddon in the past. And once it's spread, if you want to buy any time, then you're going to go the conventional doxorubicin chemotherapy. But I found in my patients where they don't have metastatic disease at the time of diagnosis that the conventional chemotherapy really didn't make a big difference in their lifespan after diagnosis. And that's just my personal opinion. I've spoken to other colleagues who have had the same experience. Dr. Loops, for example, told me he's had homeopathic remedies only and homeopathic remedies with traditional chemo, and he hasn't seen a big difference. And so I didn't want to put Joey through that if it wasn't going to be have a huge effect on his life. And I didn't want to put him through going into the clinics and getting an IV because he hates it, and I want him to be as comfortable as possible through this time that he has left. And so I chose not to do the conventional chemotherapy, but I did go with some oral targeted chemotherapy, and it's from something called Phytocure. So you could go to phytocure.com, Phytocure.com. So this is oral chemotherapy. Now they did DNA sequencing on Joey's tumor. They got his tumor from the lab where I sent it to for analysis, and they took it over and they did DNA sequencing on it, and they chose this based on their results, on the genetic mutations that Joey had that led to his tumor. They chose specific oral targeted chemotherapy. And so he's in the first stage of that. We're about to jump up to the second phase because he's doing so well on it. They can have some vomiting and diarrhea if it doesn't agree with them, but he hasn't had any of that, thank goodness. And so that's the chemotherapy route I've chosen for him. He also gets CBD oil, which has been known to have anti-cancer properties. He loves his CBD oil. He gets that once a day, and I definitely see a difference in his demeanor when he gets his CBD. We also have green eggs. Now, he's been on this for quite a long time. This is for joint health. It's got great omega-3s because it's got green-lipped mussels. Green-lipped mussels are an awesome source of omega-3s. It's got more omega-3s many more than your traditional fish oil, and it also has anti-inflammatory properties. It's great for the joint, great for the skin. He's been on it for a while. He's actually bumped up to twice a day now because he had a partial ACL tear in his knee now because he's been feeling so good. He's been running around the yard like a nut, and now we're dealing with an injury, but it's not too bad. And it's funny how your perspective changes because he's been my running partner for years, and I was always protecting his knees and always so worried he was going to get an ACL tear because I didn't want it to interfere with our time together running. And now I just want him to live. And so this partial cruciate tear is not a huge deal. And so we're just upping this now and resting his knee. He's also on immunity from 4-leaf rover. I use this company for a lot of supplements. I trust them. They're a great company. It's Dogs Naturally, and the website's 4leafrover.com. So I use immunity. This is organic mushroom mix, or mushrooms are great for the immune system. And it has turkey tail in it here, but I give additional turkey tail because I want him to have the anti-cancer properties of the turkey tail and the increased dose of turkey tail because he already has been diagnosed with cancer. So I don't think I went over this yet. Denamarin, also known as SAM-E. You may know this. It's a human supplement, great for the liver, provides liver support. It's a free radical scavenger. It's just a great supplement for anybody. But I have him on it because I really want to support his liver right now, because one of the first places hemangiosarcoma will spread is the liver. And I want his liver as healthy as possible, protected as much as possible from that happening for as long as possible. He's also on something called the One. Now I get sent a lot of supplements to try out, and this is one that was sent to me by Front of the Pack. It's a great company and I trust them. And so this has krill meal oil, glucosamine, controlling sulfate, MSM. So a lot of things that are great for the joints. Taurine, curcumin, L-carnitine. It's got a little bit of probiotic. Green tea extract, which is great for its anti-cancer properties. Ashwagandha and L-theanine. So these I think just make Joey feel great, because when I started this quite a few months ago, he just got a burst of energy and he just was happier. And I was like, all right, we're going to continue the one by front of the pack. So he still gets that. Everyone in the family gets a little marine phytoplankton. My kids don't know they get it in their smoothies, so don't tell them. But it is really a great superfood. It is a great source of omega-3s, chlorophyll. It's got vitamins and mineral. It also has antioxidants in it. It just helps keep your system clean. So I make sure all of us get that daily. And let's see, what else haven't I gone over? He does get some psyllium husk, which is a great source of fiber. And I change the dose of that depending on the day. So for example, you're gonna say, I'm a terrible dog owner, but we had a party on Saturday and Joey was enjoying the party with everybody, and everyone of course is like babying Joey right now. So he was getting food and things that he doesn't normally get. And at this point, we just want him to be as happy as possible. So we rarely say no to Joey at this point. And so that night he got a lot of psyllium husk because I wanted to make sure we weren't gonna have any diarrhea. And he didn't, thank goodness. He handled all of his fun party treats without incident. So psyllium husk is a great diarrhea fix, diarrhea preventative, and it's just a great way to supplement some fiber daily. And so I think that's basically it. He's also on a probiotic, which I ran out of. It should come today. It's also from 4-Leaf Rover. It's called Protect, and it is a really great probiotic. Go to my blog on drloudon.com. I have a blog just on probiotics because they're not all equal, and a lot of the vet formulations are not, they're just not good, and they can actually do some damage. So go to drloudon.com if you want to start your dog on a probiotic. And so to finish up, I just want to say, for all of you who are going through a cancer diagnosis with your dog, especially hemangiosarcoma, help, with your vet. Hopefully you have a vet that you trust. Together come up with a treatment plan that works for you, works for your dog, works for your budget and your lifestyle, and then let it go. Because all of this is expensive. Conventional chemotherapy is really expensive. So you have to do what you can. And if all you can do right now is change the diet, then do that. But if you can meet with a homeopathic vet, do that. Sit down, decide with your family, decide with your vet, what is the right path for you and your dog, and stick to it, and then let go. Because you don't want to add guilt of what I should have done or should be doing on top of your feelings of sadness right now. Be kind to yourself, do what you can, and enjoy every minute with your dog. It's precious. It's a precious time right now after a cancer diagnosis, and you've got to just be present and love on them and enjoy every minute, and don't let guilt come into it. Do your best and let it go. If you want any more help or advice with your dog that's been diagnosed with cancer, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help. I understand what you're going through. You can find me at drloudon.com. I'm on Facebook, Dr. Loudon, and DM me any questions. I want to be there and help you through this journey. Take care.